That's right. It's time for the Dog and Chicken Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, this will be episode 29. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us today. We're going to talk a little college football, a couple other things on our mind as this is being recorded on Sunday during the selection of the playoffs. So, Tony, any big surprises that you've seen? Or, I don't know, to me, that was pretty cut and dry.
Yeah, no big surprises. The four were that's who I had in my four before we played any of the championship games on Friday and Saturday. Honestly, I'm not surprised by the lineup of Clemson taking on Ohio State at 2 and 3, and Ohio State getting Oklahoma at 4. I really was hoping for Ohio State to be number one because I wanted to see Oklahoma, Ohio State, Clemson, LSU. I thought just for geographic sake, that would have been a better fan base clash. That's how it stuck out in my head.
It would have sold more tickets in the stadium.
Yeah. And I thought that it might actually come down to that. Because that's what they're all about. They're all about making as much money as humanly possible out of these playoff games. And I think that would have done it. Now, don't get me wrong. It's still going to be. I mean, you've got Ohio State, who's looked like the best team in the country, alongside LSU, versus defending national championship Clemson. I think that's a great matchup too. I don't think Oklahoma is going to fare well against LSU at all. Stylistically, I think they may have had a better chance against Ohio State. So I kind of thought they'd make these selections more based on how the games would go to try to keep it competitive. Because like last year we had Notre Dame was at number 3 and got absolutely trounced by was it Clemson, I believe?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and it was just an awful game to watch. Like the semifinals last year were just garbage. Nobody liked it. So I thought they'd try to remedy that this year a little bit and maybe match it up. That way you get better ratings. People would watch the whole game. But overall, I don't think you really could have picked, wrong between 1 and 2. There was no wrong answer here. It came down to LSU being number 1 because they didn't even have to win yesterday against Georgia to get into the playoff. Had they lost, Georgia would be in the playoff. But they were in regardless, but they won and won so convincingly it was not even funny. They didn't even have to fire on all cylinders, and they were still they left points out on the field and they still trounced Georgia. And Georgia's all-star kicker missed 2 field goals. They couldn't have played worse yesterday. It was a mismatch, it felt like, which is crazy because Georgia was good.
Well, a lot of people are saying Georgia was overrated. And Tony, do you remember what our top teams were on our prediction show a few months back?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what we actually had on our top 25, our preseason rankings, but I remember what we had on our top 4 picks when we were talking with Phil, and I think I had Clemson, Ohio State, Oklahoma, and Alabama. Swap that out with LSU. I'm right on track. Yeah. But I can't remember who we had in the
our original
preseason.
Our original prediction. So I only got back to number 8 as I was kind of skimming through, but those are the only ones that are important anyway, right? So
right.
We had Penn State coming in at number 8. We had high hopes for Penn State, figuring they would go about 10-2.
And they were not far off from that. I think that they had one bad game that really kept them out of the top 10 towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
And obviously Ohio State handled them, but still.
We had LSU at number 7. We thought they were going to have some troubles and probably wouldn't sneak past Bama, I think, is where our thoughts were with that.
I think that, and I kind of liked Auburn's chances against both those teams. And obviously Auburn did knock off Alabama, but LSU for me is every year they struggle in one facet of the game, but this year, special teams, defense, offense, they've clicked on all cylinders, which is something LSU hasn't done in years.
There was it was funny. I did hear a little snippet as I was listening back to that episode. Who's the coach for LSU again? I can't remember his name.
The what?
The coach for LSU.
Oh, Ed Orgeron.
Yeah, you said that.
Ed
Orgeron. Yeah, you were saying if they didn't have a good year, this might be his last season with LSU. Is what you were hinting at.
Well, it's funny.
It's like he heard you. He was like,
well,
oh.
hey, yeah, like I said, with him, it doesn't matter. Like Les Mileage to him, they struggle in these games that they shouldn't struggle in. Like they should have this great offense, they should have great defense. They finally have it, and it's funny because he was like a lock to get the USC job several years ago, and they didn't hire him.
Yeah,
they have to be kicking ourselves now because
kind of
they
like
said,
we're
"Yeah, this
kicking
is a great
ourselves
coach."
for letting that quarterback go.
Oh God, don't get me started on this. Like, yeah, so Joe Burrow was being recruited by Nebraska when Mike Riley was still floundering away
He
here.
wanted to be here.
He wanted to come to Nebraska, and Riley's staff screwed that up, and then they were obviously fired. Frost's staff came in, and he's like, well, I kind of really like the guys I've got here, and that, so he didn't really, dump a bunch of effort into it because he kind of liked what he had coming in on tap. So you can't really fault him for that because it's during a coach transition. But people are blaming Frost. Like on Facebook, I see people blaming Frost. Are you shitting me? Riley was the one that started that. Of course, you knew he wasn't going to get him. It's so stupid. So stupid.
I just knew you'd have some fun thoughts.
Oh
that,
God, so
I
stupid.
had to do the quick kidney shot. Then we had we had Notre Dame at number 6. We were off on that one.
Where did they finish?
I think they're like 12 or something.
I was going to say 12, top 12.
Yeah, something like that. So not terrible, but
no, they lost. God. Well, they kind of dropped early on, and they had to fight their way back up. But they had a couple really impressive wins, though, so that's still not bad.
We had Michigan at number 5. Boy, were we wrong.
Man, okay, take everything I said about Ed Orgeron and put it on Jim Harbaugh. Yeah. That guy, I don't get it. Like, I do not get it. He has everything at his disposal. Like, he had such a good thing going at Stanford years and years ago. Like, they would have named the stadium after him had he chose to stay there instead of going to the NFL. He gets the NFL, he loses the Super Bowl to his brother in the Ravens, and then he ends up back, as I expected, at Michigan. Well, it's been how many years? It's been 5 at least, hasn't it? And they haven't done shit. He can't come close to beating Ohio State. When they do come close, they find a way to piss it down their leg. Yeah. It just baffles me how bad that team is in clutch games. Like the big games that they need to win to turn that corner. He can't do it. I don't know what the problem is.
Yep. And for playoff picks, we were about 50% on here. So we had Clemson and Oklahoma. We had Clemson at 1, Oklahoma at 3. We got wrong. We had Bama at 4 and Georgia at 2.
Okay. Well, and see, there you go. Like, we weren't that far off with Georgia because had LSU just coasted yesterday, lost that game, got in the playoff anyway, Georgia's in. I mean, Georgia was ranked 4th yesterday in the SEC title game, and honestly, they're not going to drop that far. I mean, in the final rankings, before we head into bowl season, they're probably going to be about 6th, 7th probably would be my guess. So it's not like we were very far off. Like, I really thought that they were going to have a little bit better season down the stretch. Right. But then again, this is the SEC East. It's not exactly the gauntlet that people think it is. And Florida could have just as easily won the SEC East.
I think it was interesting. We completely omitted Ohio State because we were worried about a new coach. We knew they had the talent, but the new coach.
Oh man, I never ever thought that 3-4 weeks.
That schedule was murderer's row, man. Like it was just a tough schedule.
I was just saying, Michigan, Penn State, Ohio State. I think they have Michigan State, obviously the big bad Nebraska Cornhuskers they had to play in Nebraska, so we were worried about them there.
Oh yeah. No, they had to take out. They took out Cincinnati 42-0, which they're
that's right.
Team.
Right there, that game right there. I'm like, holy shit, this team looks like the best team in the country. Yeah. And lo and behold, they still look like the best team in the country.
Yeah, and they the only. I don't know. I don't even know if you call it struggling. The only 2 games that weren't like total domination were against Penn State. They won 28-17.
Oh, that's a bullshit finish because they were smoking Penn State. They kind of let off and
let
Penn
off
State,
gas,
yeah.
And then the rematch on Wisconsin, which we saw yesterday, which they were down to start, but then made a big comeback and took care of business.
Yeah.
And when they played Michigan, 56-27, they handled Michigan pretty
close.
easily. Yeah,
it was never close. So yeah, I was very concerned about their season because of Ryan Day. Like I expected him to do well, these first couple of years with what Urban Meyer built. I didn't think that they would be able to continue what Urban Meyer was going to do this season and do it maybe even better than he could have this year.
Yeah.
They have absolutely surprised the hell out of me. I still absolutely am not convinced that this is going to be, take a gear out, replace it, and business as usual. Longevity-wise, I don't know that Ryan Day is going to be a consistent national championship contender or even a conference championship contender. I think he's a good coach. I don't know that they'll be able to keep recruiting at that same level to maintain the same success.
Yeah. It's interesting. So
he proved me wrong this year. I'll give him that. So and they're going to be great next year. Obviously, you're making a playoff. They're going to continue to be good next year. But the year after that and the year after, can they maintain it? That's what I'm interested to see.
Yeah. So last thing on recap in our prior episode where we kind of predicted where everybody would land. One thing that I found really, really interesting that you called it months ago, that the only reason Oklahoma might not get in or would be struggling to get in, which they did. They got lucky. The cards fell exactly how they needed to for Oklahoma to get in, was because they would lose to a team like Kansas State, were your exact words.
There you have it.
Yeah.
And I don't get it. Like they do this every year. Like they're a fun team to watch. They really are. Especially in the Big 12, because let's be frank, like the Big 12 has a lot of fun matchups on a weekly basis, just because you got a lot of pass happy offenses and very little defense. The points rack up, the yards rack up, the big plays are there aplenty, but when Oklahoma faces a team like Kansas State, for some reason they just shit the bed, and it's the same with like Texas against Iowa State. They shit the bed. It's weird. It's really weird, but it's a yearly thing. You can count on it. The top teams in the league are going to lose to some of the lowest teams in the league at least one time a season.
Yep. All right, so let's jump into the playoffs. How do you think this is going to look? So LSU, Oklahoma.
This is going to be, if there's a lopsided game, this is the one. Oklahoma's defense is not going to be able to keep up with Joe Burrow on the LSU offense. There's no way. I would expect LSU to hang about, I'm going to say about 48 points on the Sooner defense. And offensively, Oklahoma's kind of struggled down the stretch. They've had their mishaps. Jalen Hurts, he's had some really bad outings. Obviously, they took care of business yesterday. In overtime, they won, but like sitting here, watching the game with like Sooner fans, are like, oh my, I don't want to play off. Like Buddha was like, I don't want to get to the playoff if he's going to play like this. That's how bad Jalen Hurts has been playing in the last few games. So I think that Tiger defense is really going to give him fits. And I mean, he's familiar with SEC country, obviously, and LSU, so maybe they have that in their favor. But if Oklahoma gets 30 points, I'll be shocked. I'm guessing about 48-30 will be your final, LSU.
Yeah, I think that's you hit it on the head. Jalen Hurts is really where this is going to come into play, because I actually do think Oklahoma's got a defense worthy of being in the playoffs. You see
if it clicks.
If it clicks like it did against Baylor, totally different Baylor game than we saw the first time around, right?
Oh, yeah.
It was a really impressive defensive battle. So I think they ranked 24th, Oklahoma's defense in the nation right now.
Was it really that high? I'll be
damned. Yes, it is. But
look at the league that they're playing in.
Fair enough.
I think you got to look at it that way.
So you got a top 25 defense playing against probably a top number 1 offensive efficiency. It's still, it's scary. It is. So LSU does rank number 1 offensively. Oklahoma actually ranks number 2 offensively. So
Yeah,
It's
man, I'm
interesting,
surprised it's
isn't
still
it?
that high. It is. Like statistically, they match up very well on paper.
Yeah.
Eye test, I no, I don't see it. I just don't see it. I would expect LSU to win by almost 3 scores. I really do. I'd like to see Oklahoma do well in this game. I really would, but I'm just not feeling it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm going to call the upset. I'm taking Oklahoma to take out the
Oh,
Tigers.
wow.
I think they can do it. If Jalen Hurts
Honestly,
has a magical game, that's all. That's all it needs. And you got that little old rivalry from when he was with Alabama. He
sure.
knows. He knows the physicality of LSU. He knows what he's up against. Yeah, I think they
Man.
can take this. I think they're going to surprise some people.
Okay, I like it. A little bit of discrepancy here. That's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
I honestly, I'll be a little disappointed if we don't get to see Ohio State LSU in some shape or form. But no, I like it. I like it.
Yeah, I mean that is a great game to see. Yeah,
Yeah.
LSU Ohio State. Yeah, but
Yeah.
so right now, just saying that we're pretty much saying, Clemson.
Well, okay. That's the thing. Well, that's the thing about Clemson, though. Like all year, like 3 games into the season, I think their toughest stretch was done, and the remaining like 9 games were just garbage. And they had a scare against North Carolina. They won by a point, and other than that, they just kind of coasted and won big when they needed to. And obviously, yesterday it was like 63-7 or some stupid, ugly score. I didn't watch much of it because you knew the outcome. Like Virginia's a much improved team, but no, nobody in the ACC was going to beat Clemson this year. It just wasn't even close.
Yeah.
They were on a completely different level. But that's the thing. Like you play 12 games in the season, and you play in the ACC that's not very good this year at all.
Nope, not
And
at all.
you coast through that schedule. You win your division, you'll win your conference championship, and now you're going to step in there with a real heavyweight, and you're going to get smacked around because they have faced nobody even close to the same caliber as Ohio State this year. I think there's going to be that initial shock factor. I think Ohio State gets out to an early lead. Can Clemson recover from that? I think Ohio State will take like a 2-score lead, and then we'll see what Dabo's got this year. We'll really see what Clemson's made of, if they get down early, which I would expect they do. They're the defending national champion. This is still an amazing team. Obviously, they're 13-0. You can't take anything away from them. They beat 95% of the other teams in the country if you played them. But I think it comes down to that experience factor this season.
It does, and they played one ranked team. Out of those 13, Virginia was the only ranked team, and that's an arguable ranking.
What did we say? It was like 24th, I think.
Yeah, 23rd is what I got.
Yeah, so it was more like, okay, we're going to try to make people tune into this game. Put a little ranking next to their name.
Yeah.
They won their division. I liked Virginia. I think, is that still Bronco Mendenhall, I think, out there? I think it is. And,
yeah.
It's a new face, I guess, kind of in the ACC title picture. So it is kind of an interesting matchup for ACC fans. But you knew the outcome. You knew they were going to absolutely trounce them. So, yeah, they've been used to slapping people around. They're not going to slap Ohio State around. This is going to be an absolute slugfest for them to even stay relatively close on the scorecard. So I've got Ohio State winning, I don't want to say big, because I think Clemson will fire back. I think they will answer that initial 1-2 combo. I think they'll make it interesting, but I do have Ohio State pulling away in the end. I'd probably say like a 36-24 type game.
Yeah, I think with them being untested and unchallenged this year, we don't know exactly what this Clemson team is made of. Honestly,
it's not like last year at all.
Yeah. Last year they were battle tested and proven.
Yeah.
But this year, and coming into the juggernaut that is Ohio State, that is a good team, a really, really good team in every facet of the game. They are good. There's not a whole lot of errors that team makes or penalties, or you name it. Like they're on it. Very disciplined. Very.
So disciplined.
Oh yeah,
it's insane.
So yeah, I think you're right. I see Clemson maybe having a good, try and momentum shift in one series at most, but I think they get clobbered. I think
Yeah.
this is the mismatch of the
Okay.
playoffs. Everybody's trying to say, hey, Clemson. It's not that Clemson's overrated, okay, and they just don't have strength of schedule. And to Clemson's credit, you make these schedules years and years out. You don't know
Yeah.
that your entire conference is going to suck dick.
Yeah.
Like it's not their
Yeah,
fault.
you can't do that. You can't judge that. No, it's
But
impossible.
But then when you get into the, like you said, you get into the arena with the big boys, yeah, I think they're going to get smashed. And then that brings my prediction being Oklahoma, Ohio State. Then you get what you talked about earlier. You get a two really powerhouse, long storied, huge tradition teams, and the fan base will be all about that national championship game.
Yeah, I could see that. Like Oklahoma, obviously they have the history of participating. This is their 4th out of 5 years participating in the playoff. Big
Haven't
12's
won one
obviously
yet,
never.
though, have they?
No.
Not even a game.
No, the Big 12.
Not even a playoff game.
No, that's right. They haven't, have they?
No.
Gosh.
That's why I'm saying we're breaking
Well, yeah,
the
that's
cycle this
right.
year.
That's right, because that first year, Ohio State kind of slipped in and surprised the hell out of everybody. I think they smoked Oklahoma that year.
Yep.
Smoked everybody that year. Snuck right in. And I think, maybe it's history repeating itself. But, yeah, I just don't see it. I've got Ohio State, LSU. I think it's just set up too damn well. I think you get that Cinderella story of 1 versus 2. The two teams that were flipping back and forth between the top 2 spots, they're going to meet. They win their semifinals. They meet in the title game. And, man, if it is, I don't know who I want to pick in that game. Like, I would love to tell you confidently. It is. It's so tough. That is a hard match to pick. Like, your spread on that game is going to be like a half a point, and neither are going to be favored. That's an impossible game to bet on. Like, unless something happens in the semifinal where somebody gets hurt, like Joe Burrow goes down, then you could maybe bet on it that way. But that matchup, oof, I don't know.
So
but
LSU's ranked number 1 total offense. Ohio State's number 5 total offense. I can pull up their defensive rankings. Where did it go? I picked the wrong website to look at, apparently, because nothing's. You'd think it would be in alphabetical order. Be a lot easier. And then total defense, Ohio State ranks number 2. LSU on total defense. This is probably going to be a little surprising to you. I'm still scrolling.
No, that doesn't surprise me, actually. They're playing in the SEC.
32nd.
That is low, but they're playing in the SEC. They've played, Alabama. They've played Auburn. They've played the likes of A&M.
Yeah, but Ohio State's been playing some tough teams too, and they still
absolutely. Man, I'm trying to think. What was it? 2007? Yeah, 2007 in the BCS title game. Ohio State LSU. That was the year LSU won it when Bo Pelini was their D coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
He came to Nebraska, 2007. I think I watched that at your house, and
yep.
We had fun watching that. And I think we're going to get a little bit of history repeating itself here. And if I had to make a pick between LSU and Ohio State right now, I'd probably pick Ohio State, not based off of any number rating. Like I said, I think the SEC, the toughness of that conference, like, we can sit here and shit on it all we want, but it is the best conference. And you do play a gauntlet every year, even if you schedule cream puffs.
Yep.
So I think that probably affects it. The fact that their, offensive ratings are that high should say something. I actually, like, the SEC defenses probably aren't nearly as amazing as some people make them out to be. The offenses, definitely. So that probably takes into factor there. But I guess if we had to stack them up, Ohio State probably does have a better defense.
Yeah.
Even to the eye test. but this is probably one of LSU. This is LSU's best team since 2007, I think.
Yeah. So if it were to end up with your prediction, I agree. Ohio State takes it, and then if it comes into Oklahoma, Ohio State, I don't think Oklahoma bears like that'll be a bloodbath.
There's no way they can knock off LSU and Ohio State.
Exactly.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
There's no way that lightning can't strike twice here for Oklahoma. Like I said, that the way they played down the stretch, yeah, like you said, you could get one. I don't think you get two.
No.
So we have no chance for Clemson here, is what we're both kind of thinking.
Yep. I think we both kind of agree. Ohio State's probably going to take this.
And okay, yeah. So homer pick of Big Ten, but whatever. I think you can make. I could sit here and make just as easy a case for LSU. Like every game I've watched of them, it's just they look like a pro team. They do, but so does Ohio State.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. They haven't released as we're recording. They haven't released any other bowl games.
I was hoping we'd be able to. Yeah.
Oop, I lost you there for a second.
Yeah, I hit my mute button.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there we go. So yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I haven't really heard anything on any rumored bowl matchups yet. It's about noon, right? A little afternoon right now, so we'll start seeing stuff here in an hour or two. I don't know. Rose Bowl is going to be obviously Oregon, and since Ohio State's in the playoff, I wonder
think
who
they
they're
take
going to.
Wisconsin. You stick with Big Ten,
kind of what I'm thinking.
Or they jump Penn State above Wisconsin.
Ooh.
Wisconsin's at 10-3 now, and Penn State's at 10-2.
True. Either matchup there intrigues me because I really like. I forgot honestly this year so many times how good Oregon was, and they won the Pac-12.
They almost broke through.
So
several
close.
times this season. Every time they would get
So
in that
close.
top 10, boom, they would get smacked back down.
Yeah, they do something stupid, they'd fall back down, and then Utah just looked like absolute dog shit on Friday. I couldn't believe how bad they played, after having a really good season. But yeah, Oregon versus I would bet right now it'd be Wisconsin. I think I'd prefer the Penn State matchup though.
Yeah,
I think stylistically and for a slug back and forth type game, Penn State Oregon would be the better game to watch.
I think so too. Yeah, I want to see Penn State.
I like it. So then we've got SEC runner-up Georgia and Alabama are probably your most likely candidates for like the Sugar Bowl. What about Baylor?
Where's Baylor fall?
Yeah,
so they're number 2 in Big 12.
So what about like an Alabama or a Georgia versus Baylor in like the Sugar Bowl?
Wow,
that might not be bad.
I would like to see. Yeah, I think Bama would get the nod with a 10-2.
I think just they always get that little bit of favoritism because if they don't make the title game, like, well, clearly, they just didn't have the chance to showcase their skills, so we're going to leapfrog them in, get them in there. And I think you're right. I think Alabama Baylor. How do you think that goes?
Oh, Alabama Baylor. I'd love to just see Baylor stomp a mud hole in them. Honestly.
Oh, I would too.
But they don't have
beautiful.
Tua, and they hung their whole season on Tua.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
And instead, they put Tua mini people on the field.
That was good. That was nice. That's golf clap. Very nice. No, they are not the same team
without him. Yeah.
No,
they take Tua over Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
And then Jalen Hurts jumps ship, and then Tua gets injured.
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay.
So if you have no Tua at Alabama and you put them up against Baylor, then it's a game. Like, I don't think Bama would just shit stomp Baylor.
Right.
I think they'd win. But without Tua, that could be interesting. I'm kind of hoping for that now. But then we've also got so Nobody left really in the ACC that we're talking about. There's just not. But the Fiesta Bowl's got to pick somebody. What about like runner-up Utah?
Yeah, I was gonna say Utah's got to be in the conversation here.
Yeah, they do, and I think Utah's a good contender there. Georgia's a contender there. There's just nobody left in the ACC between Wisconsin and Penn State. Whoever doesn't get picked to go to the Rose Bowl, that's a talk. They're going to be in the conversation there. So yeah, there's a lot of really intriguing matchups here. From 5 to 12, there's a lot of teams in there that you could really just match up and have a really good time with. I really like it. And Notre Dame, we haven't even mentioned Notre Dame's possibility of sneaking into a game here.
Yeah, I still think there's too many people in front of Notre Dame though.
I think so. I agree.
It's going to be too hard for them because they can't. I mean, they're still 10-2, but their rankings drop severely.
But they seem to get
because they don't have a conference championship, so they get hosed.
Yeah, well, that's their own fucking fault. But they have like little clauses and stuff. Like if they have a certain record and they have a certain ranking with a record, like they get shoehorned into a top tier bowl game. And
what about Memphis?
Oh, that's right.
Could they sneak in?
Is Memphis the highest rated
I think
group
so.
of 5 team? Or did Boise State? Did Boise State beat Hawaii?
Yeah,
Boise I didn't even State look at that.
Won. Boise State.
I forgot about that.
They're Memphis had a way tougher schedule.
Sure.
So I think they'd get the nod. But Boise State after this season, fun fact, they are the winningest college football team.
Of what?
I need to look it up exactly, but I heard it this morning watching ESPN. They're like, yeah, Boise State is now the most winningest college football team. I'm
probably
like, what?
Percentage of wins, compared to games played and games won. I would assume it's that because winningest, you're talking like Oklahoma or Ohio State, Texas, Alabama, USC, I think is up there. Like Nebraska was up there. The last 5 years have really knocked them down.
So yes, it is winning percentage. So they overtook Michigan and Notre Dame.
That's impressive. I mean, yeah, look at what Boise State's done over the last decade and a half, and it's nothing but put up double-digit numbers in the win column. They've had a couple, shit seasons here and there, but for the most part, they're putting up 10-win seasons. Pretty routine. And they're doing it quietly. Ever since the BCS fell apart and we entered the playoff era, we haven't they've been ranked here and there, but it's not like it used to be where they were in the conversation.
Right. I think those are the ones that get the nods though.
I could see that. I could see a Boise State up against like a Georgia.
I think it's either Boise or Memphis. They're going to want one of those two in there just to, you got to. They're 12-1.
Yeah.
Regardless who they play, they're 12-1.
Man, yeah. What about
you gonna take a 9-3 Michigan over them?
If you do Memphis, it's gonna be somebody from the South, just because you're gonna get better matchup. For the fans, it's gonna be a lot. They're gonna find a game. Would they put Memphis in the
Florida?
Sugar Bowl? Oh man, I don't know.
You got the Gators.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I just don't see him doing it. I don't know. I'm kind of interested now to see where Memphis is.
We haven't even put Florida Gators in any of these.
They didn't win the East. Yeah. They didn't win the East. So to me, it doesn't
impressive
matter.
Season, but
sure, but it's the SEC
get a good
East.
Bowl, regardless.
It's Florida and Georgia every year, and
it's that line.
Whichever one doesn't win, sorry, you should have won.
Yeah, Florida, Georgia. Line, shitty country music.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can call it country. That's not
fair
to country music.
It's really not country. It's bro country at best.
Yeah, it's the Nickelback of country.
It is the Nickelback of country.
Yeah.
And now a token rap verse.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of fun matchups in there. I just hope somebody like a Memphis or Boise State still gets a nod into a big bowl, and not getting shit on. I think having a 12-1 season, regardless of who you play, is impressive. Just like UCF in prior years, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll see how it all shakes out later today.
We didn't even talk about Nebraska's bowl game chances yet. 5-7, they could get in.
Oh my God.
There's still people that think that.
Yeah, I know. They're
I know. Yep, thanks.
How about
for
that season?
Oh, that was fucking garbage. My God.
Oh.
So, yeah. Wow. Right out of the gate. Freaking just Colorado. Like, that should have told us everything we needed to know about this yeyear.
It was a good
Take
game,
a 17-0 lead into the half, only to shit it out at the end, losing overtime. The writing was on the wall right there. Like, okay, this is wrong. That looks wrong. They're doing too much of this screen bubble patch shit. They'll fix that. They'll fix that. No, they didn't. And, oh, God, look at this. Yeah, even that South Alabama game was trash.
Yep.
They looked like shit there. They fell apart in the second half against Colorado. Oh, look at that big score game over at Northern Illinois.
Yeah. We started feeling better. And then we almost shit the bed with Illinois.
Let's just put a bookmark there. Northern Illinois. How did they do this year?
I don't know.
Let's find that out.
Let's just look up their season. So
loss, win,
1, 2,
loss,
3, 4, 4 wins, 5. No,
holy shit!
5 wins.
1, 2, 3, 4,
5 wins.
5, 6. They're going bowling.
Great.
Doubt it. Actually, they may not go bowling. But yeah, okay. So 6-6, Northern Illinois. This isn't the same Northern Illinois that they were when we scheduled them. Like we alluded to earlier, you don't know how these teams are going to be when you schedule them years in advance. But we did have a big win there, and at least they had a 500 record. Illinois, we damn near lost to. They finished 6-6.
At that time they were 2-2. So let's see, Illinois win, loss.
Win.
There's 3, 4, 5,
6.
Yep, 6-6.
6-6. So yeah, they are. I was to say, I think they iced that with. I think they beat Northwestern to get bowl eligible. I don't remember, but yeah. Okay, so we almost shit the bed there. So that it turns out we were pretty well evenly matched with Illinois when it was all said and done. Ohio State, obviously, that could have been a lot uglier. We should be thankful that wasn't 65-0.
Yeah, that could have been really bad.
Yeah, then we've got
Wisconsin was coaching that game, it would have been 65-0.
Yeah, exactly. And the Northwestern game, like, I actually felt pretty good about that because they play us tough every time. But
until you seen how well Northwestern did this year,
turns out,
they win 3,
2, 3. Yeah, 3 wins, 3-9. So yeah, playing Northwestern tough don't mean shit when you can only hang 13 fucking points on them and they win 3 total games. Garbage. Not even impressed. Not happy. Terrible. Don't even want to look at it. Terrible. I hate Pat Fitzgerald and Northwestern. Then Minnesota. That one shocked me. I thought we'd actually hang with them. There you go. Minnesota. I was wrong about you. Yeah. I had them finishing 8-4 when they were on a roll, and they managed to do much better.
Surprised a lot of people.
They did. Like they handled Penn State, very, very easily. That shocked me. But then again, I don't think that this is going to be a yearly thing. Like, Minnesota's not the new contender.
It's
because they still managed to lose to Wisconsin.
I think they're going to be like the new Northwestern, where you get good for a few years and then you trickle off. And
that's fine with me. I have much more respect for Minnesota.
Yeah.
Indiana, look at that. Managed to lose a game we had won. Yep. Click on that. So yeah, look at the quarter by quarter score.
We're up 21-13. Yeah, 21 to what is that? 16 at halftime.
Yep.
And then third quarter, we just get our asses handed to us.
Yeah. Yep. That's just disgusting. Wow.
Yep. Really good quarterback efficiency, though, on that game on passing.
Yeah, look at the defense, though.
Yeah, we're not going to.
No, don't need to. So, yeah. And then, obviously, we're like, okay, well, that sucked, but we'll beat Purdue. That's not going to be a problem. We'll get bowl eligible. Wait. Never mind.
No.
Yeah, look at this. Another second half. Like, okay, we win the first quarter. We shit the bed in the second quarter. They take the lead into the half. Third quarter, defenses show up big time. Field goal apiece. Fourth quarter, everything falls apart again. 2 touchdowns apiece. And we fucking lose to Purdue. Yeah. Another absolutely must-win game because it's Purdue. Couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it.
This is where shit turned around, I'll say, though.
Yeah, Wisconsin, we actually played fairly decent. Like, we still had a lot of stupid things happen.
Oh, that is more that 37. It should be more like 30 because that was a garbage time score. So we really weren't that. It should have been like 60-0.
But I think a lot of this in these last 3 games is when our defense started clicking.
Okay,
it wasn't so much the offense.
No.
Like, the offense never got their feet under them the entire season, but then towards the end of it, we started seeing, like, you can call it black shirts if you want to, but they were starting to click, and we were getting turnovers, we're getting defensive scores, and we were winning the battle up front all of a sudden with, teams that, Wisconsin, you look at, their offensive line versus our defensive line. Like, I was worried about that heading into that game. I'm like, they're superior to us. Like, they're going to just knock us over. But no, we held our own. In Maryland, whatever, cupcake. But then even with the Iowa game, like, we probably should have won that game just because of our defensive push throughout. I was actually really impressed with the last 3 games with our defense. Our offense had a couple flashes here and there, sure, whatever. It always does. But it can never hang on to it. It's not consistent and falls apart. So, and then the play calling, Jesus God, the play calling.
The Wisconsin game, I went to that, and like I say, like I was standing next to a Wisconsin fan that went with us, and he's like, "You got a better team than you think here." I'm like, I don't know. As the game went on, I'm like, okay, man, you know what? He thinks we're better than we think, so I'll take that. That's a moral victory for me. But then, Maryland, we absolutely shit stomped them. That was a much needed, big time blowout win. Almost had a shutout. And then Iowa.
I cursed that shutout, didn't I?
Yeah, thanks for fucking that up.
I jumped on Facebook. We haven't had a shutout since what was it, 2008?
2009?
Something like that. But it was like 5 minutes later they fucking score on the big, huge, like 40, 50-yard run. I was like, yep, I screwed that one up.
Yeah, I say, 2009 we beat Louisiana Lafayette 55-0. That was the year Taylor Martinez fumbled not Martinez. Zach Lee fumbled into the end zone and still scored the damn touchdown. But the Iowa game, you saw the team going, okay, our backs against the wall. We aren't going bowling unless we win this game. We have to win this. Like, we have to have that hump that we need to get over. This is that game. You could see it on both sides of the ball in parts of the game. But there you go. You look at that fourth quarter, and we could not score a point, and that's why we lost. You know, we needed a field goal there, and we couldn't get it. So I don't know. It's unfortunate. Like, the last 2 years we've hung with Iowa. Should have beat them, and it's come down to a last few second field goal. So I feel good about that game moving forward, regardless of how we do overall. But I think we're going to start beating Iowa. Like, I don't see them turning anything around and start winning the West Division anytime soon. So I if nothing else, we'll at least be able to do that. But you said something there about the defense in the last 3 games started clicking, and I thought that too. Like, I absolutely agree with you. Number wise, no. It's not there. like people argue statistically, no, defense didn't improve at all. For me, it's the eye test. And like those last 3 games, you saw the fire, you saw the guys making a big hit, getting the big stop, getting up, throwing the bones, fired up, wanting it, trying for the ball, fighting for the ball, trying to get the pick. Even if they didn't succeed, the effort was there. And that's what I wanted to see. That's what I wanted to see in September. It took the whole year, yet again, to see that defense get a fire lit up their ass. It just didn't quite, pan out the way we needed it to. So 5-7, 1 game better than the year before. So at this rate, we'll be at a bowl game at 6-6 next year.
Well, let's let's take a look at next year, because I think, well, I don't even know if I want to predict anything, but we can break through. Break down
I know my
season.
thoughts on it.
So, so I got it pulled up here on the screen. So I'll just read through real quick. We start with Purdue, then Central Michigan, then South Dakota State, then Cincinnati, then Northwestern, then Illinois. We get a bye week, and then going to Rutgers, at Ohio State. We get Penn State at home. We go to Iowa, and then we go to Wisconsin, and then we end the regular season with Minnesota at home. So real quick, Tony, when you think Husker football compared to these names, where we should be, the first half of the season is very favorable. If you think, Nebraska versus Purdue, Nebraska should win that. Just thoughts.
Yeah.
Central Michigan shouldn't be a problem. South Dakota State Jackrabbits, they're actually a pretty good team this year, but we should win that one. Cincinnati, they're not a joke, but we should win that one. They
just played in their conference title game yesterday. Yep.
They lost, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, but they got there.
But so we should win that game. We should beat Northwestern.
Actually, Central Michigan also played in a conference championship game yesterday. South Dakota State, I believe, is routinely FCS playoffs.
They lost in the playoffs, yeah.
So, you're talking about 3 out-of-conference teams that aren't exactly pushovers for their name brand.
Right. So we should be, with Northwestern, Iowa, and Rutgers, before getting into the bottom half of our season is tough, but before getting there, we should be 7-0. We should be. We'll likely be 5-2 is what I'm guessing.
Well, I could pull the screen up right here on my message board, and that's exactly what I said a couple of days ago looking at the schedule. Like, in year 3 of Scott Frost's tenure, looking at this schedule, there's no fucking reason Nebraska shouldn't be 7-0 heading in to the back half, back gauntlet. No reason. But I'm looking at it, and I'm like I just said, these 2 teams played in the conference championship. South Dakota State's given us problems before. Purdue has been routinely upsetting us in recent seasons. Illinois gave us a fit this year. Northwestern always plays us tough. There's only one game I'm looking at here, we can beat the shit out of Rutgers for sure. We'll win that. South Dakota State, maybe they'll hang with us. We'll win that. Central Michigan, they might hang with us. We'll win that. There's 3 games I can look at and go, okay, there's 3 wins. Purdue, Cincinnati, and Northwestern. I could honestly see 3-3 in those games there. But I don't. I think I also said 5-2 because we're gonna still have hiccups. It's inevitable. We're not there yet. We're still building. We're still trying to get a team. All the kinks ironed out. So I kind of think 5-2 in those 7 games.
Yeah,
I'm hoping for 7-0.
I could see the Northwestern one just because it's at Northwestern. Could be a problem for us. We don't play well on the road with our conference. So
with Northwestern, the opposite is true. The fucking home team sucks in that series, and the away team won for the first 4, 5, 6 meetings. The home team lost.
Well, Then okay, give it to us. No,
Yeah, I can't.
I think we should be 7-0. I think we're going to be 5-2. I could see
Agreed.
I could see the 4-3 before we hit Ohio State, who's going to stomp a mud hole in our ass. Penn State's
Yeah.
going to stomp a mud hole in our ass.
Probably.
Iowa, we should be able to hang with Iowa and
Yeah.
have a good game. Wisconsin, I haven't looked to see who all they lose this year, senior-wise, and how they're going to be. Same thing with Minnesota. I don't like Minnesota's been slowly growing over 3 or 4 years, but I wonder how many seniors are going to be out and how many what their depth's going to look like. The last 2 games of the season, I'm not willing to make a bet, a prediction on, because we are growing depth. Some of these teams, when you kind of hit this peak, like Wisconsin's been kind of up and down over the last few years, where I think they're at a peak right now. I think they're going to lose some folks, but don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure. The one that scares me with it is both Iowa and Wisconsin are not at home.
On the road back to back, yeah.
On the road back to back. Minnesota in Lincoln, I for some reason, I think they've upset us here in Lincoln a few times. So,
Yep. Went to
I don't
that
know.
one.
The last 5 games could all be losses.
Yeah, I agree because we're not going to win in Ohio State. That's just not going to happen. Penn State, I
At home,
I kind of want to chalk that one up as one we'll sneak a win out with because
if we come into that game 7-1, because we lose to Ohio State and we do what we're supposed to do, we take care of business on those first 7 games. We come in
Right.
to Penn State in Lincoln. That'll be a night game. That could potentially be a really big televised event that they really try to shove down America's throat.
as it should be. That's a huge matchup.
That's
name-wise.
a huge matchup. Even though Ohio State one would be a huge matchup if we're 7-0 heading into that. So
Not after this year and putting us on a national stage.
yeah, well, we'll see.
Thanks, game day.
We'll see, and we'll see what happens with the quarterback situation. In the offseason. We've seen it. Martinez has competition.
I'm going to take a picture of this schedule, and we're just going to make our way too fucking early picks right here, and I will mark them down on here. But yeah, let's go through the rest of that, and then we'll start making picks here. Like you said, at Iowa, at Wisconsin, back to back. I would say we go 1-1 in those 2 games if we're lucky, being a back-to-back double road header. I think maybe knock off Iowa, lose at Wisconsin.
Okay.
And then Minnesota, we don't know what they're going to be like. Like you said, we don't know enough. Is PJ Fleck going to have them playing amazing football down the stretch next year? I don't know. I really don't know. And obviously they couldn't handle it this year. They dropped the last game to Wisconsin. They got left out of the title game. So I don't know. I think they had a really good season this year, and I don't think they'll have another one next year. So you didn't like the Purdue to start the year. Why is that?
Because I think that sets up the potential for us to be 0-1 at home and start the year off shit in the bed. And that really is a momentum killing position. But in a good sense, starting off with a conference game, that it can be good if we perform well, we show up, and we do what we're supposed to do. What are your thoughts on that?
I've been lobbying on message boards for years, begging somebody to notice. Let us play Northwestern or Purdue to start the year, or at least in week 2. Because then you're getting not just a conference win, but a division win early in the year. And then that allows you to schedule your South Dakota State towards the back end of the season before like rivalry week, which is exactly how the SEC does it.
Yeah.
And that allows you to get
It's
technically
a
bye week. It's a practice game. Right towards the end, you stay healthy, you get another win, you look good doing it, you're firing on all cylinders. Huge win over a cream puff, but you're still fresh to play your rival. This is a brilliant way to schedule it. Yet, you look at that schedule, we win it. Where's the cream puff? Oh, they're right in a row again. And then we have a murderer's row of 5 hard games to close out the year with no bye week. So they started getting it right. They started doing it right. But no, I've been saying for years, I would love to play Purdue in the opener of the week 2 game. I think that's brilliant. I love it. I hope we make that a routine thing. You know what? They scare me a hell of a lot less in week 1 than they would in like week 6.
Yeah, fair enough. I think, you got rivalry week at the, towards the back end of the year. I don't know. As you say that, I almost want it to be like a opening season rivalry game would be more fun to me. If we're gonna do a crossover game, I would like week 1 to be the crossover with Penn State. That would be more fun.
That'd be
to
amazing.
Me. That would be
freaking
great. Amazing game to start every year like that. Then I wouldn't care if we started 0-1. Like,
and I actually said one time, like, why don't we start the year with Iowa and end the year with Penn State?
That'd be cool.
Like, that would be like you would have 2 huge matchups, rivalry terms wise, to start the year and finish the year. I think that would be incredible.
It'd be fun.
But yeah, I like playing in division or a conference foe to start the year. I think that's great. I hope they keep doing it. I just hope they have a little more foresight than to schedule all the tough games towards the end of the year. I don't understand.
It makes it tough.
So, okay, we're looking at this here. I'm just going to put a little check mark by who we each think has got what we're going to win, what we're going to lose. So that opener against Purdue, what do you think?
We lose that one.
You think we lose? Okay, lose, and I'm going to say that's a win. Okay. Central Michigan.
Win.
Yep, I agree. I think they could give us some fits, but no. South Dakota State.
Win.
Mm-hmm. That's definitely
they give us some fits too.
And they will. Cincinnati.
Lose.
Oh man. Yep. I think I agree. That's where we hiccup. Northwestern.
I think I'm gonna say we win that one. That one's tough for me. But
I agree. No, that's a win because I
know I said earlier it worries me because it's there, and maybe your talk of the home team shits the bed on that one. So maybe you talked me out of it. So I'll say we beat Northwestern.
There was only like in 5 years one time we went there and actually stomped the shit out of them, and the score was still kind of close. Illinois.
Win.
God, I'd hope.
Bye week.
Then
lose.
Bye week. We'll lose. We'll do something stupid. Rutgers. I think
win.
We
win. Yeah,
that's a win. Ohio State.
That's a loss.
That's a fucking loss all day. Penn State.
Loss.
I'm calling it now. Fuck it. Win. Iowa.
Win.
I'm going win as well. Wisconsin.
Probably a loss being in Madison.
I'm going to have to agree. Loss. And then to finish the year, strangely enough, this time around, Minnesota.
I say we win that one.
Yeah, let's go with a win. I'll take a win there as well. All right, so looks like you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You've got us going 6-6. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, wait a minute. 1,
I was
2,
gonna say I
3,
thought it was. Did I go 6 and
6, 7, 8.
2, 3. I should have us at 7 and 5, I believe.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope, 6-6 is yours.
Who else did I say losing to? Buckeyes, Penn State, Wisconsin, Purdue, and Cincinnati?
Oh, wait a minute. I put you down as a loss for Rutgers. You did not say that.
No, I did not say that.
That's my bad.
I got a 7 and 5.
That's my bad. You got us at 7-5. I've surprisingly got a homer pick of 9 and 3, which I'm actually not thinking we'll go 9 and 3.
No.
So we'll I don't know. There's gonna be one more in there. I think our best case scenario is gonna be 8 and 4. I really do. Like 8 and 4 is probably our ceiling next year, and if we can't get to 6-6, like 6-6 has to be the bare minimum, and it's not even acceptable, but it has to be our tolerance in year 3 because we have to get to a bowl game. We have to get to a bowl game in year 3. And those last 5 games, man, that's rough. So people have to take that into account. And I think 8-4 is probably our ceiling. So I could see 7-5, like you said.
So what do you see happening in the off season? You know, we've had a lot of, you know, we heard Frost say, you know, some people are going to go, some things are going to change. What kind of adjustments are we going to make? Who's getting the boot?
Well, people want to see Chenander go. I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're not going to see any changes at the top. It's going to be lower level guys, if anything. You know, they'll make some adjustments and some changes, but it's not going to be anything that makes a huge shift one way or the other. So I don't know. I don't expect much as far as staff shakeup goes.
Yeah, unfortunately, you're probably right. It'll be some little insignificant piece just so they can say, "Hey, we made a few adjustments." But if so, say we don't start off 5-2, say we shit the bed out of the gate and we're like 3-4,
right?
Heading into Ohio State, somebody's head's gonna roll, right?
It has to. You, if you have on paper a schedule that says you should probably be 7-0 and you have a losing record after those 7 games, somebody has to pay the price. Somebody has to. You can't.
That's a CYA is what we call it in my line of work. Cover your ass.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to go.
Yeah, you got to have a scapegoat in that scenario, and somebody will be the scapegoat. It's true. It has to happen. Sorry.
Yep. Otherwise, yeah, if you want to go down with the sinking ship or the fire, whatever you want to put it, any analogy you want, but something will have to happen. But if he comes out 7-0 heading into Ohio State, then hey, it's all sunshine and rainbows, and everybody will be like, "Yay! Look at us, we're good again."
7-0 going into Ohio State
just to get
us on prime time. Watch us get slapped around again.
Let's invite game day.
No, could we please? Let's send them to Columbus this time. That'll be fun.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm already depressed now. Thanks.
Yeah.
We're not there yet. Like, let's just face facts. Like, I didn't think when I heard, a couple weeks before kickoff that we're still 2 years away. I'm like, really? Nah, we are. Now, we still might be 2 years away after this season.
Our problem isn't what we're trying to accomplish. The problem we have is what we're trying to accomplish requires depth, and we don't have depth. We need to if we lose a Maurice Washington, just a few weeks into the season, and we don't have any big time we pulled a true freshman with Wan'Dale Robinson that had to carry the team after that, and he got injured. He couldn't make it through the rest of the year. You can't have that. You just can't have that. That's the level of our depth is. Okay, we're going to take this Wan'Dale Robinson kid who's not designed to be a back necessarily, and we're just going to put him everywhere on the damn field. Thank God we had somebody like that, because it would have been a shit show without him. But we can't do that. You got to have some depth. You got to have somebody to be able to go, okay, this person's in place to take over for a Maurice Washington when he has legal problems and can't keep his mouth shut and gets kicked off the team. And
and Dedrick Mills stepped up, fill running back role pretty nicely towards the end, and
it took him a little bit though. He wasn't ready to pounce out of the gate.
We had a bunch of different guys kind of step up at receiver here and there week after week. So I think overall you got a lot of guys in there who got a lot of good game experience. So we should see an uptick just based off that. These guys are going to be better. A lot of these guys that we saw have flashes that are young this year. I think we're going to see really good players next year. So we do have that working for us. But it's still going to come down to line play and quarterback play. So
line play especially. We got 3, whether you like Martinez or not. We've seen what he's capable of, whether he was in a sophomore slump or maybe the rumors out there are true of some personal issues on the side. But whatever's going on, that's irrelevant as we head into the offseason. He's got the talent. He can do it. We've seen him deliver a beautiful ball. We've seen him run like nobody's business. But he's also got two guys that are going to be trying to take the job from him, so that will make him.
Thank God.
The competition always makes you better, right? When you have
You
two people
have to.
gunning. Yeah, so either Martinez wins the job and comes back better than ever in his junior year. That's still I don't know what our redshirt situation is with the other two.
Luke McCaffrey should be a freshman next year.
Okay.
I don't think he did more. No, he only
played
it's up to 4. So yeah, I think he's fine. He'll actually be a freshman next year. So we've got plenty of time with him.
I don't know what Vedral, if we ever redshirted Vedral in the past.
Oh, we did that first year, I thought.
Okay.
But did he take advantage of that 4 year?
Martinez never had one, so if he gets injured, we can redshirt him still.
Right.
So we got 3 talented keys.
Yeah. Looks good.
We have depth there. That's good.
Yeah, but damn.
If the O-line doesn't protect them, they're only as good as the person that's, is it a butt? Is it a butt that's right in front of you blocking your ass?
Yes,
or
the best quarterback's only as good as his line, and we didn't have that this year. You couple that with a bunch of just god-awful sophomore slump decisions of whatever reason. He regressed a lot. You can't have pretty subpar quarterback play behind a really subpar line and expect to do much better than we did. So it is what it is, and I think we'll see better quarterback play and hopefully better line play next year.
Yep. And then that comes down to recruiting. I haven't been up to speed in the last few weeks, but anything exciting with recruiting? Anything we need to look forward to?
We oh gosh, let me look up the name. We just had a big decommit the other day from a JUCO linebacker, and what was his name? Jamoy Hodge decommitted, and it sounded kind of fishy. He, when asked why, it was something along the lines of like, ask coach. That's all I'm going to say about it. So something maybe happened there, and maybe that means we found somebody we liked better. Maybe some people were like, oh, maybe his commitment wasn't a committable offer, but it was. So his commitment was strong. He decommitted for some other reason dealing with the staff. So we don't know what really happened there yet. I haven't heard anything else. But that was the big one. So hopefully that means we found somebody better that we liked. Who knows?
That's good. I don't know. I just pulled up to see what our 2020 commits are. So
it's not as good as it should be number-wise. Is it 18?
Currently it has us ranked 29 nationally, 7th in the Big Ten. We have 14 hard commits right now. Yeah. We have, let's see, 5 4-star recruits, which whatever the stars are worth, whatever they're worth. But I do see an offensive tackle. We got wide receiver. We got safety. We got running back. So we got a nice variety there.
Should be like 3 kickers on that list.
No, I don't see a single kicker.
Yeah. Well, I hope they got a JUCO they like that they're looking at. My God.
Yeah. But yeah, so nothing super. We only got 2 people on offensive line, though.
Yeah, number-wise, it's not like a super impressive looking class yet.
We loaded up defensive line is what it looks like. So we got 4 defensive line and 3 defensive backs committed right now.
Yeah, and I said something along the lines the other day of, well, we're not really seeing much of an uptick in recruiting, and I got scolded. So there's some guys who must know a little bit more than I do on that side of things that think we have a really good shot at a handful of guys that are going to make this class look a lot better in a very short amount of time, because the window's closing pretty soon. Like with that early signing period, we need to see some movement, get us up a lot, because right now as it sits, that's not quite going to cut it.
Yeah. Who's this kid that we got a hard commit quarterback, dual threat, Logan Smothers?
Oh yeah, people are really high on him.
Yeah, I've heard that name a few times, and he's thought to be going to be a Well, I don't know. He's in high school. It's hard to say what they're going to end up doing.
Yeah, there you go.
I hate watching some of these because they're like, this kid's going to play in the NFL. Well, hey, dude, he's 17. Shut up.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't
He's
tell him
beating the
that.
crap out of other 17-year-olds right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Let's see what he does at college.
But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But we beat him out. He wasn't highly recruited by a ton of big names though. So
No, but people are high on him.
yeah, cool.
And you got to take a good quarterback every class. You have to. You
Yeah, just in
absolutely
case.
have to. Yep.
Just in case.
Well, and like you said, you got to have that battle. You got to have the depth chart, people battling behind you to make you better. That way, when you do suck or you get hurt, which you will, there's somebody who can step up.
Yeah.
And we have lacked that. So at least we've got that. Like Frost has fixed that. We have quarterback depth. Finally. It's been a while.
Yeah. We just need that offensive line.
Yep, got to get that line. Oh, boy,
Yeah.
got to get that line.
Yeah, that's what concerns me is I don't see a ton of offensive line unless we're waiting for our walk-on program to take over for that one, which it will take a while if that's the plan.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can't always bank on that.
No, you can't, but no, it doesn't hurt.
No, doesn't
You
hurt.
get a gem or two here and there. That's all you can ask for.
All right. So you got us going 9-3 next year. I got us going 7-5.
Okay. I don't have a hard 9-3. Like those are my picks for wins and losses, but no, I think it's going to be more like 7-5. Honestly,
Fair enough.
I'll have to look it over and see which ones I like the least.
Yeah,
far
we
as
can
my
always
wins went.
we can always come back and revisit this because I really want to see what
Yeah.
happens with Wisconsin, who's graduating. I don't know how many seniors are going out, even for Ohio State. I mean, if you lose half your offense and defense, even with a team like Ohio State, still can get a little scary if they're all seniors this year. So you have to take a look at it.
Agreed.
Cool. Anything else you want to talk about?
I think that pretty much summed the football talk up. I'm just excited to see the Bulls, and hopefully we get a good handful of matchups that'll make me excited to watch bowl games. I've almost forgot what they are.
Yeah. You know, I was kind of hoping for some chaos because do you like just the 4-game playoff, or do you want it, or 14 playoff, or you want it to be bigger? Because I personally I would like an 18 playoff, and I saw a bunch of potential to screw up the bowl selection for this with all the games yesterday. None of it worked out. It all played out like it was supposed to. But I was like, if Wisconsin can win, and then if you had like the LSU losing, and if certain things happened, it would have created fucking chaos today, and they would not have had a clear pick like we had. Like we all knew who the top 4 were last night after all the games were played. But if Wisconsin took out Ohio State, if Georgia would have won, like you would have been like, oh shit. What if Utah didn't lose? Like there was a lot of different variables at play that really could have shaken things up to make an argument for an 18 playoff. Yeah.
And I don't know. Like I like the 4, but I'm kind of a minority in this, thinking that I think it should be an 8-team playoff. We should reduce the regular season down to 11 because do we really need that extra cream puff game? I don't think we do. Cut the games back down to 11. Have the 8-team playoff. 5 of those spots go to whoever wins their Power 5 conference, so your ACC, Pac-12, Big 12, SEC, Big 10. Those 5 teams, regardless of record. So if 8-4 Wisconsin knocks off, 12-0 Ohio State, tough shit. Wisconsin won, they're in.
I like it.
You win your conference, you get in. That's 5 spots locked up, year in and year out. Then obviously you got to take
your wild card there. So in that scenario in Ohio State, you
like
probably plug them.
Memphis, though, you got to pick. You pick your non-AQ group of 5 champion that's like the best record, best rating. You get them in, give them a spot. Then you got your 2 wild card spots for like an Ohio State,
which
the
are
SEC.
your highest ranked teams, or a Notre Dame that didn't get a conference championship.
Exactly. Exactly. So 6 spots are locked up guaranteed. 2 spots are open for a wild card or highly ranked team like a Notre Dame. So I think it's just that simple. And then, like, you look at the bowl season calendar, it wouldn't be that hard to spread it out, give them a break in between, and still end at the exact same spot in January that they already do. It's doable. It's done at every level of college football except this one.
Would that take away bowl games from some of those lower tier teams that are 6-6? And
yep, and that's fucking fine with me.
So that's a lot of money that doesn't go to some of those 6-6 teams.
No, it ain't. No, it's not. No, they'll save money because the 6-6, teams like SMU most years or Florida Atlantic that go 6-6 or 7-5 and have to claw and fight their way to get to a bowl game, and then the bowl game goes, okay, you have to buy X amount of tickets, and we're going to make you buy 20,000 tickets as a school. You have to buy this many tickets from us to sell to your fan base. They're going to sell 10% of that. So they eat a loss on the rest of those tickets. To make the trip there, they have to pay for it themselves. The bowl game ain't paying for them to get there. Some teams like I think it was Florida Atlantic actually had to pay for their band to get there, so they couldn't afford to do that. So they had a local high school marching band go play for them at halftime for a bowl game, and they ended up still taking a huge loss. They went to their bowl game, they lost it, but they got that little bit of exposure, so they hoped it'd be recruiting, be big uptick. No, nothing changed.
Yeah,
these bowl games bleed these schools dry as far as like the allotted tickets and everything else go, and they don't see any return on it unless it's a big profile bowl game and they win it. So no, I am fine with cutting the bowl games down to about 20 or more. I think it should be cut down because there's way too many. I love more football, that's fine, but we're at the point where a 5-7 Nebraska was still in the conversation to get into a bowl game.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
You're telling me a team with a losing record deserves a bowl game? It doesn't. A team with a 500 record probably doesn't deserve a bowl game. You should at least have to have a winning record.
No, that's an interesting take. So
yeah,
I'm sure there's an argument against you on that. I'm just not as well versed on the finances of it. So
read that damn book. You're gonna go, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah,
I'm never watching a bowl game again. These people are pieces of shit. And they are. It is a fucking crime ring with the way these bowl games are set up. It's insane. It is absolutely insane.
Wow. All right. Well, cool.
Yeah. Now we just got to wait and see what the bowls look like. So cheers.
Yeah. Cheers, folks. All right. Well, I gotta pack up and head to the good old airport, and yeah.
Well, good luck to you.
I gotta upload this video to my OneDrive so I can edit it while I'm gone all week. So,
well, luckily this one's not going to be a 4-hour-long video, so it shouldn't take me long to get it sent to you this time.
Well, you know what? The best part about this is we were sober, so I didn't say inappropriate things that I have to cut out very often.
So this should be pretty easy to edit.
I don't think there's a single part in there where I'm going to have to actually go and cut anything out. It'll just do a little flashy graphics on a couple pieces, add the intro, and slap this bitch up. We're good.
Maybe that's why people are like, you guys are idiots. Why are you all drunk? Yeah, what the fuck you're talking about?
Yeah. It's probably good to have a couple
once in a
while. Yeah. It's more fun.
Well, we'll get the bowl games, and then we can get drunk and shit on those.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to do that. We got to get connected with Phil here. We got another presidential debate coming up. We can do a little shitting on. He wants
moving forward with the impeachment. I'm sure you guys want to talk about that.
We got to talk about that. And then also, he sent me a text the other day of doing a whiskey review if I got something up here. That I haven't tried yet. So
we did a bunch of reviews last night on some wine and some scotch and some whiskey. So I'll be putting those up on the Revolutionary Wrestling Podcast in the coming weeks.
Like, share, subscribe. All right, cool. That's all I got. You got anything else, Tony?
Nope, that sounds good. We're gonna go see Santa here in a little bit.
Ooh, jolly old Saint Nick.
You bet it.
Awesome. All right. If that's all, that's it. Yeah, I ain't got nothing else.
All right.
Appreciate y'all tuning in. Love you. Bye.
That's right. It's time for the Dog and Chicken Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be kind of episode 29.5 for us anyway. This will all blend together for you. Obviously, you can tell different background and probably different clothing. And but now that the bowls are selected, we wanted to go through and make our picks because, of course, we have too much testosterone and we like to compete about everything. So
that is correct. That is absolutely correct. And it's important.
It is important. The world will look back on our predictions and see who did better and know that chicken was superior.
Well, I mean, to most people you will be, but I'm going to have a perfect record this year. I feel good about my picks.
The record will be as good as the Huskers.
Oh, dude, fuck you. That's not even nice.
Yeah, that's
just rude.
That's rude to everybody.
Man, I'm hoping to have a better record than 500. They couldn't even hit that. All right, let's start this out. Starting on Friday, December 20th. That is when these bowl games start, and there's like, I think 100 of them this year. But let's start it out with Buffalo versus Charlotte. Who you got?
That's the Bahamas Bowl. I'm gonna go with. I think everybody's kind of. I think Buffalo's the favorite. I'm gonna go with Charlotte for the upset.
Oh, going with the upset out the gate. I like Buffalo here. Charlotte, yeah, they haven't been an FBS program very long and already in a bowl game, but probably not enough firepower to knock off Buffalo. Buffalo.
Okay. Next up,
Tropical Smoothie Cafe Frisco Bowl.
Utah. Is it really that? Mine just says Frisco Bowl.
Yeah, that's
Tropical
apparently.
Smoothie.
Yeah, I don't know. I got nothing. Because we need a paragraph sponsor for every bowl game now. It can't just be the fucking Peach Bowl. It's got to be the Tostitos dog fucking a unicorn on a Folgers can. Bowl.
Somebody's got to have their name attached to the IRS tax forms. I don't know.
Well, that's a whole nother can of worms we're not going to get into tonight. All right, the Smoothie Bowl, Utah State versus Kent State. Who you got?
I think Utah State has this one.
I like to pick Utah State, but I am going with the upset on this one, Kent State.
Awesome. Well, already picking an upset right away.
Hey, I didn't do it on the first one we listed. I waited on the second one. That's good, I guess. Okay, this one is the Celebration Bowl, the Air Force Reserve Celebration Bowl. This is a rematch of last year, Alcorn State versus North Carolina A&T. Last year, North Carolina A&T won this game, and I am predicting that they do it again.
Oh, that one's not on my list. It must be that bad of a bowl that.
Well, it's not. They're not even FBS teams, but it's it's a newer thing, newer bowl. I don't know. I didn't watch it, but maybe this year. Maybe this year I'll watch it.
Gotcha. So, yeah. Who's on there again?
It's Alcorn State versus North Carolina A&T, and last year A&T won this exact matchup.
Well. We'll go with A&T, I guess.
Yep, I'm going A&T as well. I think they have a repeat performance. Nothing crazy here. The New Mexico Bowl featuring San Diego State and Central Michigan.
Ooh, so I did look at this one a little closer. I am taking Central Michigan. That would be the upset. I believe San Diego State is the favorite in this one, but I'll take Central Michigan.
Yeah, they have more firepower, and Central Michigan, I think they're coming off of the title game loss, but I like San Diego State here.
Okay.
Moving to the Cure Bowl, short and sweet for a change. Georgia Southern versus Liberty. I like Georgia Southern here.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree. I don't think Liberty's got much of a chance.
Kind of the same thing. Like Charlotte's new to the FBS, so's Liberty. Maybe they're not quite ready. I think Georgia Southern's got more speed. Moving right along, the Cheribundi Boca Raton Bowl, SMU versus FAU.
I want to watch this one. I think this is actually going to be a good matchup because we seeing SMU finally coming back from the impending doom that they went through in the 80s, was it, where they got the death penalty pretty much.
Yeah.
I thought they looked really good all year long.
They did.
I got to go with SMU on here.
Yeah, I think the more interesting story here is not just SMU coming back from the death penalty in the 80s, but you're right, they did look good. And FAU had a really surprisingly good year, but they just lost their coach, Lane Kiffin. He's not going to be there for the bowl. He's going back to the SEC to Ole Miss, I believe. I'm pretty sure it was
Ole Miss.
So no Kiffin means no win. I have got SMU here.
So is he not coaching that game then?
No, he is not.
Wow, what a dick. I
I
know
mean,
it's Lane Kiffin, but
what the fuck did you expect? I mean, he's never left a program better off than he's, found it.
I'm kind of excited to see more Lane Kiffin like gaff and comedy sketches.
Oh, last time he was in the SEC, it was just a riot. Like every week, he was good for a soundbite here and there. It was awesome. So
yeah,
I can't wait to hear him piss and moan about getting smacked around.
I think it's going to be good.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be amazing. Moving down the line, the Camellia Bowl, Florida International versus Arkansas State. This is a former Sun Belt matchup, if you will, but I have Arkansas State.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I think they're a better team. I mean, routinely better team. Next up, the Mitsubishi Motors Las Vegas Bowl, Washington versus Boise State. This one intrigues me, and I do want to watch it.
Yep, this is probably outside of maybe the SMU game. This is the first actual matchup I think that we're going to see. I've never had luck going against Boise State in a bowl. I don't think they're the favorite in this one. I believe Washington has like a 3.5 is what they're calling. And everybody
surprises me.
Yeah. I'm sticking with the Broncos, Boise State.
This game I really want to watch, not just because like Washington's the more household name team, and Boise State, I think they're ranked 19th. They're in the top 25. They've got a better record. But I like this because this is Chris Peterson's final game at Washington before hanging up the whistle. And he's coaching Washington against his former team, Boise State. I mean, you can't write a better story for how this plays out. I'm really disappointed he's retiring. I really thought that was going to pan out well at Washington for him, but something happened. He's hanging it up, and he gets to coach against Boise State in his final game. So it's kind of a perfect ending to his coaching career. I really battled with this one, and I wanted to pick Washington, but I am going with Boise State Broncos here. I think they're going to want it a little more. I don't know. It's just something about it. Like you said, Boise State always shows up big for a bowl game, and I don't think it's any different here. I think it's close, but I think Boise at the end.
Yeah, it's hard to go against Boise.
Always is. All right. R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl, Appalachian State versus UAB.
UAB gets blown out.
Yeah, I don't see this is a complete mismatch on paper.
This is a terrible matchup.
No, yeah, there's no way in hell UAB wins this. Like, if anybody wants to bet on a landslide, like, this is the one.
Yeah, this is
if you need to parlay, use this one.
Yeah, this is a money maker. If something crazy were to happen, if you got a few $100 to just lay down on something, you don't care about it. This is it.
High risk, low reward type bet here, but yeah, Appalachian State's been good all year.
Oh, if you want to, like I said, if you want to blow $500, you don't care if you lose it. Bet on UAB. Like,
oh yeah,
the payoff would be huge.
The payoff, it would be. I wouldn't do it, but yeah, go for it.
Yeah, it's a stupid bet, but
it is another kind of a mismatch. Bad Boy Mowers Gasparilla Bowl.
Yeah.
That's a real thing. UCF versus Marshall.
What's a
I didn't realize.
What's a Gasparilla?
I don't know, but I know Bad Boy Motors. They're nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Marshall, I didn't realize was bowl eligible this year. Good for them. They got UCF. UCF is obviously not the team they have been the last couple of seasons. They're still a damn fast team, and I think this is another pretty. You're looking like 44-28 if they're lucky type matchup. I got UCF.
Yeah. So this one, they have it as a 17.5 favorite for UCF. I don't think they cover that spread, but I think
Really?
UCF takes it. I don't think they'll get this. I don't think 17.5. That's heavy. But I still think they win. I still think they win.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, SoFi Hawaii Bowl. I know this is going to shock you, but guess who's in the Hawaii Bowl?
Oh, Hawaii?
Holy shit, you must be psychic. Yes, of course, Hawaii is in the frickin' Hawaii Bowl, like they are every year, against BYU this time. Like I said, it's basically a home game for Hawaii, but I don't know. It doesn't even seem to matter because they're in it. They're in it most years, so who cares? I actually have BYU here.
I think it's kind of a toss-up. This is actually a pretty even match. It's not an exciting game because neither of them are very good. I don't know. Just to go against you, I guess I'll go Hawaii. I'll go homers.
Fair. This was kind of a coin flip for me. The Walk-Ons Independence Bowl, Miami versus Louisiana Tech.
I got Miami. I think they handle this one pretty soundly.
Miami's the easy pick here. They actually don't. They're about 6-6, and I think La Tech is 9-3. Not that records matter in bowl games. I think what matters here is Miami has a history of coming out really, really flat in bowl games. They've lost 8 of their last 9. Last year they were like 29-3 to Wisconsin. They just come out flat. You know what? I'm going Louisiana Tech with the upset, if you can call it here. But I think they'll come out a lot hungrier than a Miami team that just laid a lot of eggs this year. I think they'll be back next year.
They were inconsistent for sure. New coach, you're going to have some of that. I think they button it up and they'll come into this with a good game plan. Miami's got it for sure.
All right. I don't know. We'll see. I like it. Quick Lane Bowl, Pitt versus Eastern Michigan. This is
it's not a good matchup.
No, it's not. Pitt's obviously the deeper, team here, and you're gonna, even if it's close at halftime, Pitt's gonna pull away at the end. I got Pitt.
Yeah, I think Pitt blows this one out of the water.
More than likely. Military Bowl, North Carolina versus Temple. I like Mac Brown to win a bowl game here, North Carolina.
Yeah, I get North Carolina. That one I can't go against.
Next up, the New Era Pinstripe Bowl, Wake Forest versus Michigan State. The Big Ten has won 3 Pinstripe Bowls in a row. Wake Forest has won 3 bowl games in a row. Obviously, Wake's kind of overachieved this year, and Michigan State's kind of underachieved. So the matchup's kind of a tilt back and forth in different ways. I actually, this one was kind of tough for me, but I'm going Wake Forest.
Me too.
Yeah, all right.
They're not the favorites in this one, but I just, Michigan State, what'd they come out, 6-6?
Yeah.
Really disappointing year for the Spartans.
Yeah.
I don't know. They just didn't look like a Big Ten team this year.
No, and when they flounder throughout the season, they don't do great in the postseason either. So I think Wake will be the team that's a lot more motivated. This one excites me. I'm really excited for this. Old Big 12 South rivalry, Oklahoma State and Texas A&M in the Academy Sports and Outdoors Texas Bowl.
Let's just call it Texas Bowl.
There you go. That's better. I'm really looking forward to this one. Obviously, A&M being in the SEC now, A&M leads the series all time 17-10. From what I can tell, obviously A&M, they play in a really tough division now in the SEC West, so their record maybe isn't indicative of how good they could have been had they been in Oklahoma State's spot in the Big 12. But Oklahoma State's running back, I think, Chuba Hubbard could eclipse 2,000 yards with like 100-plus yard game here, if I was reading those stats correctly.
Yeah, he's leading the nation right now. Is that right?
I believe so.
I think so.
That's huge, and obviously that's going to be the story of the game. Another great aspect to watch in this, exciting rivalry renewed. I'm really looking forward to it, and I had a tough time picking this one. Who you got?
I'm going with the Aggies. For you kind of alluded to it already. I do worry about Hubbard, and the hype around him and what he's able to do when you give the ball to him. But you just look at, ooh, there goes your phone.
Oh, yep. I moved it too close. My bad.
Anyway, so I got I do worry about Hubbard. Give him the ball. Dude's got a lot of talent. He can really tear things up. But the Aggies, you mentioned it earlier, they have been battle tested. They've been up against 5 top 10 teams. They didn't win, but they know what a big offensive line, a big defensive line can bring to a game. So I think they're going to have a good game plan. I think A&M comes in. I think they're a 6-point favorite in here. I think they cover that spread.
Okay. I think he gets his yards. I think he gets his big record-setting season, and I think that Oklahoma State still loses the game. Aggies.
Okay.
Next up, the Holiday Bowl, USC versus Iowa. All right. USC's passing offense ranks 5th nationally, and Iowa's passing defense ranks 10th nationally. So this could be a bit of a fun matchup, offense versus defense. What do you think?
So it could be, but look at who Iowa's been up against, and how do they get that ranking for their passing defense?
Yep.
It's a mismatch. It looks good on paper, but these receivers and that backfield for Iowa, it's a mismatch, and I think USC is going to exploit that. I think Iowa, as much as I want to pick a Big Ten team to win, just for the homer pick, I can't. USC is going to exploit that secondary, and we almost beat Iowa, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
So yeah, USC with the upset, because I do believe Iowa's picked to win somehow.
Yeah, I'll be betting on USC if they're actually not the favorite. This one's a no-brainer for me. Like you said, I think USC, their season looked a lot worse and they played a lot tougher teams. So yeah, I agree. USC for sure. I and not just because it's a homer pick, but I just can't pick Iowa. I just can't.
Yeah.
Like, even if they were ranked first in the country, I just can't pick Iowa. Screw Iowa.
Yeah.
Sorry, all you Hawkeye fans, but no, you're dicks.
Much love.
Most
Much
of you.
love.
There's a few of you that are all right, I'm sure, but all the ones I've been interacting with on Facebook, you just dicks.
Yeah.
Okay. My new personal favorite bowl game, the Cheez-It Bowl.
Oh, my God.
Because that has to be a thing. Air Force versus Washington State.
This is a tough one. I really do think this is a really good matchup, and a lot of people are like, "What, Air Force?" They've actually, and I think I said at the beginning of the season, like, they're no slouch. They're not a joke. So, will Mike Leach be able to get Washington State pulled together? And I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think even a Mike Leach can get the game plan together to deal with Air Force. I think Air Force takes this one.
I really wanted to pick Air Force here, and I almost did, but I think Mike Leach is going to have just a couple of those weird mad scientist tricky plays up his sleeve in a couple of clutch spots. It's going to catch Air Force off guard, lead to some points. Washington State, and a really, really close one.
Okay.
Camping World Bowl.
I've never heard of this one before. Camping
Well,
World.
no, why would you? But Notre Dame versus Iowa State.
How did Notre Dame get screwed to have to play Iowa State? Like to me,
I know.
the
I know,
records don't
so
match. It's a weird matchup.
It is.
I want to see Notre Dame against a good team and see them tested one more time this year.
Well, like if you're looking at this, like the very next game has Penn State in it. How could we not get Notre Dame and Penn State in a bowl game?
Right, something like.
Yeah, and that's not a knock against the Cyclones because they had a pretty good season, but it could have been a better season. But by the same token, it could have been a better year for Notre Dame. So it is what it is. Do you think Iowa State even has a shot here?
I think they have a shot. If Notre Dame, we've seen them a couple times this year really trip up and just have just bad days on the field. They can't have a bad day because Iowa State will exploit that bad day.
Oh,
so
yeah. I was just thinking that.
There is a chance that this could be an exciting game if Notre Dame doesn't show up to play. But as long as Notre Dame shows up, handily takes care of Iowa State. I don't think if the best Notre Dame team shows up and the best Iowa State team shows up, Notre Dame still wins it no matter what.
Yeah, you pretty much. I couldn't say it any better. Like you said, Iowa State will capitalize on mistakes, but yeah, if Notre Dame shows up and makes even a small handful of mistakes, they'll probably still edge this one out. Okay, Goodyear Cotton Bowl, Penn State versus Memphis.
We're not going to do the first responder bowl. Do you have that one?
Maybe I don't. Which one's that?
Hold on a sec. So I got a few. So first responder is Western Kentucky, Western
I've got
Michigan.
it lower. Oh, that's just out of order because that's on December 30th. We're not through the 28th yet.
I guess mine probably aren't in date order.
Yeah, mine are in date order.
Okay, so which one did you want to look at?
Cotton Bowl, Penn State versus Memphis.
Cotton Bowl, Penn State versus Memphis. As much as that's a tough one, it really is.
I agree. It is. It's a lot tougher to look at than it is on paper. Like Memphis is a lot better than a lot of people are thinking they are. Like most people looking at this sheet making picture of Memphis, but no, they had a pretty damn good year, and Penn State kind of tapered off a little bit from where we hoped they would be.
Yeah. This is really tough because we talked the other day wanting Memphis to get a good bowl game, and here they get one. Like this is they're gonna get tested, and fuck it. I'm going for Tigers.
Boy, I like it. I got Penn State.
Yeah, that's a safe pick. I want some excitement. I want something to root for.
I go with Penn State because they are absolutely battle tested. They've played the likes of Ohio State on the field, so I really think that'll be what it comes down to. I think maybe Memphis probably got, maybe a little overconfident playing some of the caliber level teams that they played.
Fair enough.
They got it in their head a little bit that, they're a little better because of the ranking. So I don't know. Maybe Penn State kind of uppercuts them right out of the gate and kind of handles things from there. I don't know, but I like Penn State in this one. But it will be a lot closer than a lot of people looking at it on paper will think. Next up, here we go. The final games of the 28th, the most important ones. First up, the Peach Bowl. Now, we already dove into these a lot, but the Peach Bowl, LSU, Oklahoma.
This, I'm still sticking with Oklahoma. Just to shake things up for the playoffs. I know it's a tough pick, and picking Oklahoma by no means that I'm going to pick them for national championship if they pull it off, because we discussed lightning doesn't strike twice. But yeah, I'm sticking with Oklahoma.
Yeah, I got to go with LSU. Every facet of the game, I think they're better. And then obviously the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl, Ohio State, Clemson. I was surprised to see how many of the national pundits prefer Clemson and think Clemson might walk all over Ohio State here. But I'm sticking with Ohio State.
Yeah, me too. I don't see it.
I don't either. I don't see it. I can't believe how many of them are overlooking the just awful schedule that Clemson played.
Yeah.
Okay. The Serve Pro First Responder Bowl, Western Kentucky versus Western Michigan. Battle of the Westerns.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're back to where I was. Western Michigan.
Yeah, I got Western Michigan too. Let's see. Next up, Franklin American Mortgage, Music City Bowl, Mississippi State, Louisville.
This is another one of those. Yeah. It's like, are you supposed to care about this one? I'm going Louisville. I think it's a closer game. It's actually, it's not an exciting matchup, but it is on paper, it's a good matchup. It'll be a fun game to watch. Could be one of those overtime bowl games. Might be one of the first exciting, real big, cool games to watch. Music City Bowl usually has a good matchup. So, but yeah, I'm going to take Louisville on this one.
This was kind of a coin flip for me too, but I was gonna pick Mississippi State, and then just to kind of pick an underdog. I assume Mississippi State's favored. I actually went with Louisville myself.
Good man.
Next up, the Red Box Bowl, Illinois versus California. Fighting Illinois versus the Cal Golden Bears. Now, this is, I'm sure, a bowl game everybody's excited for, been looking forward to, probably circled on calendars. I could go on and on about the vast information I have on this one and all the amazing Heisman contenders both teams have on them, but let's not weigh this podcast down with all of that. Who do you got?
So, real quick, Illinois did come out of the gates, 6-0 before stumbling against Northwestern of all goddamn teams. So, we've seen the good and the bad out of Illinois. They've been surprisingly good considering what they've been up against. Cal, rough start, but then closing the season, beating Stanford and beating UCLA. Oh, Cal's the favorite here. It's the inconsistent team against the inconsistent team.
Yeah, that exactly. Like Illinois finds that game where their offense gets super aggressive, and then the next game they run into the ditch and throw up white flags. And I think that's what's going to happen here. I think Cal, finding their rhythm and sticking with it, that's probably the deciding factor here. I got Cal.
Yeah, me too.
Capital One Orange Bowl, Florida versus Virginia. Obviously, Virginia got ranked, won the Coastal Division. Sure, they got smacked around by Clemson, but that was expected. This would give Florida their second straight New Year's Six-Day Bowl win, and that's what I have. Florida big.
Yeah, I got Florida big.
Kentucky versus Va Tech in the Belk Bowl.
The Belk?
Belk.
Where do they get some of these?
We can't name bowls anymore. We just name them with sponsors because that's don't get me started. So Va Tech, man, I really wanted to pick Va Tech here, but Kentucky has the number 4 rushing offense. That's huge, especially in the SEC. SEC East, sure, but it is the SEC nonetheless. But Va Tech, this is Bud Foster's last game as D coordinator before retiring. Man, this one was really tough. I wanted to pick Va Tech, but I'm going to go with Kentucky. The last game I saw they played against Louisville, man, I thought they looked a lot more impressive than I thought. I got Kentucky.
I'm gonna stick with Va Tech. I think Hokies. They had that heartbreaker against Virginia, their rival.
Yeah,
I think they bounced back from that. I think they're hungry.
Okay, simple enough. All right. Are you ready for this?
Oh,
The
God.
Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl.
That's great.
Oh, I can't believe I read that.
Yeah.
Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. That's a thing. Okay. Florida State versus Arizona State. All right. So I, all I can say is I can't believe Herm Edwards is finding success at Arizona State. Who knew? I sure enough,
Right?
I've got Arizona State to win this because
Me
I think
too.
Florida State's so inconsistent.
Yeah. Arizona State for sure.
And they finally got a coach hired, and he's not going to be there to coach, the bowl game. So I like ASU here. AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Navy versus Kansas State.
Oh, Brett DeLay, plug your ears. I'm going Navy.
Yep. Oh, hell yeah, I'm going Navy. And not just because I will not pick Kansas State to win a bowl game, because I can't. They both run the ball. This is not going to be a long game, so the clock is going to tick and tick and tick. But the Navy rush defense ranks 17th, and the Kansas State rush defense ranks 62nd. That's the deciding factor. Navy runs the ball better, more effectively, and probably, I'm going to say, at least a 10-point win here for the midshipmen.
Yeah, and it's not a knock on Kansas State. It's not that I wouldn't.
You can take it as one if you'd like.
It's not that they're not a decent team. They are a decent team, but first year coach has some success. But Navy, I agree with you. I just think they got too many weapons, and they're too good. Their blocking up front's way better. They're gonna be able to protect the ball and capitalize on any mistakes Kansas State tends to run into here and there. So, Navy.
I like it. Georgia State versus Wyoming in the Nova Home Loans Arizona Bowl.
So Wyoming and Georgia are playing in the Arizona Bowl.
Georgia State.
Well, still, like you get where I'm going
that's a
with
huge
this.
fucking difference.
It's just like, what the fuck are we doing?
Well, I mean, yeah, just because Hawaii plays in the Hawaii Bowl doesn't mean Arizona has to play in the Arizona Bowl. But yeah, Georgia State has to go all the way to Arizona to meet Wyoming in the Arizona Bowl. I had some notes here. Where were they? Oh, yes. Both of these teams beat an SEC team this year. Believe that or not.
I believe it.
Yeah, Wyoming.
This year I do.
Yeah, Wyoming beat Missouri, and Georgia State knocked off Tennessee?
Yeah.
Knoxville.
Yeah.
So this might be a little bit better game than some people might think, but I got to go with the homer pick, Craig Bowl, Wyoming.
Yeah. So looking at, I took some notes on Wyoming too. Was they had some ugly games in their last 4. They lost 3 of them, and was it both of them had a poor record? I thought Georgia State had a rough end of the season too. I can't remember.
I think they did too.
But the big one that stood out to me is Wyoming. Their offense has just been struggling. Now, I haven't watched any of their games, but they had several games with less than 3 touchdowns. Like,
oof.
That's tough.
Ouch.
I know Wyoming's the favorite on here, but I'm gonna have to go with Georgia State. I think they're gonna put some points on the board.
Fair enough. The Valero Alamo Bowl, Utah versus Texas. What you think?
Utah.
Nothing more than that, just Utah.
No, just Utah. Fucking Texas.
Yeah, so Utah cost itself a playoff bid, obviously, by shitting the bed against Oregon. Like, bad. And basically, all they have to do is pass the ball, and they'll win the game. Because Texas ranks 127th nationally against the pass.
Wow.
That I granted they play in the pass happy Big 12, but that's freaking bad.
You know how great it'll be to watch the Utes come in and just slap Texas around in the Alamo Bowl of all goddamn.
Yep, and I've got Utah winning that one as well. Thank you very much. Go Utes.
Go Utes.
the VRBO Citrus Bowl, Alabama versus Michigan. This one's a little intriguing.
So yeah, this
This is I don't know. Like, this could go so many different ways. Bama could be without a lot of, draft ready players that are just like, screw it, and they want to sit out. They're not in the playoffs. They're like, screw it, I want to sit. I don't want to get hurt. Screw it, my draft stock. But at the same time, what kind of Michigan team is going to show up? Like, the one that like overachieves and just hits on all cylinders like once or twice a season, or the one that played Ohio State a few weeks ago that just shits the bed on every drive?
So
like, I don't know.
If we were going to talk about this being a matchup, if say back in like July, we're like Alabama and Michigan are going to meet, we'd be thinking it was playoffs, right?
Yep.
So we're like Saban versus Harbaugh.
Yeah.
This would have been the ultimate showdown. But now it's in the Citrus Bowl.
Yeah. Fine with me.
Yeah. Here's the deal. Alabama's obviously picked to win this one. Will likely slap Michigan around a little bit, even with just because of the depth that they have. I know there's a lot of rumors of the kids going into the draft not going to play in this game. They're going to decline. We'll see. We'll see how many of them actually decide to play and not play. But even with that, they got enough depth. I don't think it matters.
Exactly.
I think
depth-wise on both sides of the ball, Alabama's deeper.
Jim Harbaugh is holding on to his job by the skin of his fucking teeth right now. This would be his third straight loss to an SEC team in a bowl game.
Well, coupled with 5 straight losses to Ohio State. So yeah. This would go a long way to saving his job.
If Michigan can beat Alabama, Harbaugh will all of a sudden be the greatest coach in the world again, at least until the start of next season.
When they lose to Michigan State.
Yeah. I don't know. I never want a guy to lose his job, but I just don't see Michigan being able to take out Bama. And I hate Bama, but I'm picking Bama.
Yeah, for whatever reason, Harbaugh just has not panned out at Michigan. I don't get it either, but yeah, no, I have Alabama, like you said, more depth in key spots, like ready depth. Like Michigan has depth, but it's not game ready depth when they need it. I got Alabama probably big.
As long as Bama doesn't put too many people on the field. Snuck it in again.
Love it. Still love it. Still funny as shit. Fuck Saban. All right, Outback Bowl, Auburn versus Minnesota. This might actually be a better matchup than the one we just talked about. I'd like it to be. I don't think it will be. I don't think it will be. I am going to double down on everything I said weeks ago about Minnesota not being as good as Bill. Like, they surprised me record-wise. They won that Penn State game. They finished the year a lot stronger than I thought they would, and they earned this game.
They did earn it, but this is a different monster.
Yeah, I think Auburn's played, LSU, Alabama, Oregon. They have played some of the toughest teams in the country this year. Minnesota has fucking not. They didn't even they were lucky to avoid Ohio State this year in the title game. I got Auburn here easily.
Yeah, I think Auburn puts on a show because a lot of their young talent they're going to be. I think next year they're going to be really good. And I think that's what Bo Nix is he's going to put on a show.
Yeah,
and I think he's got the perfect bowl matchup. It's not a terrible bowl. Take the Outback Bowl any day, and you get an overrated Big Ten team that you get to slap around.
Yeah,
shit, man. Like, this could get rough for Minnesota. I think Auburn's just going to stomp the shit out of them.
I tend to agree.
That's what I would do if I was a head coach for Auburn. I'd be like, "What? I get Minnesota? Fuck yeah!"
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it goes well, but I'm hoping for a good game here. I'll watch the first quarter probably, and if it gets bad, there's probably There's another game on. Yeah, that Alabama-Michigan game will probably be closer. It's on at the same time. All right, though. Later on, though, Rose Bowl. Whew. Oregon, Wisconsin. This one I like, and I cannot wait to see it. Oregon just dismantled Utah in the title game. They're coming off some huge momentum. Wisconsin was leading Ohio State in the Big Ten title game. Just couldn't quite get the job done. I love this matchup. I'm going to love watching this game. I'm excited for this one. This one is tough to pick.
I think this is outside of the playoffs. This is probably the best matchup.
Yeah,
this is the hardest one to pick.
It is tough because there are so many different ways this one could go. Like you could just see Oregon have no defense in this one. Wisconsin runs wild. You could see Wisconsin, stumble in the run game for whatever reason, and Oregon just that speed lights up, and it could go big either way, or it could be a nail biter. It could be a high scoring, it could be low scoring. I'm excited because you don't know what's going to happen in this one.
I think so here we go. It's what is it? Justin Herbert, their quarterback. It's his last game, and he's done. So there's that of how's the team going to show up and want to send him off. But at the end of the day, I think Jonathan Taylor is just a superior athlete, and I think Wisconsin's gonna handle it. Like I think it's gonna be a close game, but I think it comes down to the play of those two.
I got Oregon.
Yeah,
I got Oregon. Close, very close, but I got Oregon. Birmingham Bowl, Georgia versus Baylor.
Birmingham. Did
we not discuss this one possibly being a matchup? I feel like we did. Georgia Baylor. Like I'm intrigued here.
We had Alabama Baylor, I thought. Is that the Birmingham Bowl? I thought that was Cincinnati.
Nope, that one. Where is Cincinnati? Are they not in a bowl?
I thought they were against Boston College in the Birmingham Bowl.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one. Yeah, Sugar Bowl. Wrong line. Sugar Bowl is obviously Georgia versus. That makes a lot more fucking sense. I was like, right?
Man, how'd they get screwed out of that bowl?
Yeah. They're all shitty bowl games.
Yeah.
They're all the same fucking, like, half of these games are in the same fucking stadium, and these assholes sell the same seat to like 3 fucking times and make you pack. It's such a fucking crime. Anyway, Georgia versus Baylor, not in the Birmingham Bowl, but the Sugar Bowl. What do you think?
A lot of people are thinking Georgia's going to run away with this one, but Baylor's defense is pretty good. From a Big 12 team, that's not something you typically hear a whole hell of a lot about.
Exactly.
But they do have a pretty stout defense. And we saw, I think Georgia is overhyped. I really do. I don't think they are that good of a team. Everybody's got them just blowing Baylor out. Every prediction I've seen is like 35-21, trying to get a 14-point spread. I think the official spread's 7.5. I don't. I see it being a much closer game, and I think Baylor takes this one. I'm calling the upset.
Yeah, the thing about this one, you can't use the A plus B equals C formula in college football. You just can't. Baylor played Oklahoma twice and gave them everything they had. And we're sitting here saying, Oklahoma Cinderella story in the playoff. Their chances aren't great, but they could win a semifinal, but they can't win at all. So they're going up against Georgia, who, by all purposes, could have won the SEC, could be in the playoff, but they're not. And why aren't they? Because they absolutely look terrible against LSU in the title game. And I think they're going to be reeling from that. And they're
they should be reeling from that. It was embarrassing.
Yeah, it was bad. At every level, that was a terrible game. They looked awful. They did not look like the team I watched all season. And their great kicker missed 2 field goals in that game.
Yep.
They could not have played worse football that day, and I think that is going to be stuck in their head. And I think Baylor's probably going to be way more fired up for this matchup than Georgia is. Georgia was playoff or bust, they were thinking. Yeah. Baylor was happy to be in the conversation. They're not going to be disappointed for this. They're going to be fired up.
They're fired up. They're going, oh, we're going to be playing against somebody who should have been in the the playoffs. They're going to be looking for blood.
Yeah, had things gone a little differently, this could have been a playoff game. I've got Baylor as well.
Okay.
Next up, the Birmingham Bowl. Boston College versus Cincinnati. I don't have a whole lot here.
Me either. Yep, Cincy.
Easy. Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. Tennessee versus Indiana. Woof.
I think that. How did they get to the Gator Bowl?
I don't know.
What's their record? I don't have it on my.
I think they're 7-5.
Are they? Oh my god.
Maybe, I don't know.
Remember when the Gator Bowl used to be like kind of good teams?
Well, we thought that because we were playing in it.
Well, when we played in it, we were a 9-win team, weren't we?
Yeah.
Like 8 or 9-win team, like. And we played real people, like Tennessee loses to who'd we talk about earlier? Like,
yeah, Georgia State.
Yeah.
No, like that's the problem with having 130 FBS teams, and 30 some bowl games, and you can't fill them all. It's stupid. Like teams that don't deserve to be in them get in, and then household name teams like Tennessee. Even though they kind of suck, I don't know. It's weird. Bowl season's so weird. I got Tennessee here.
I got Volunteers too.
I don't think Indiana has enough towards the fourth quarter. They'll probably just gas out. The famous Idaho Potato Bowl, of course.
Why can't they just call it the Potato Bowl or Idaho Bowl?
Yeah.
Stop this. I got Ohio.
I do too.
Go Solich.
Yeah, like Ohio's lost some close games. They were 2-5 and they were decided by like 10 points or less. And yeah, I like Solich to get his third straight bowl win here.
Okay.
The Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl, Tulane versus Southern Miss. I got nothing here for you. I'm just picking Southern Miss on a whim.
I'll go Tulane then.
The Mobile, Alabama Bowl, Louisiana versus Miami of Ohio. I don't know enough about either team, but I like the Cajuns here. Louisiana.
I can't stick with Miami of Ohio. I've picked them in years prior, and I always get burned. So I'm gonna have to go with Louisiana too.
There we have it. And then obviously we have the final. Whether it be, Oklahoma, Clemson, LSU, or Ohio State playing in this game. I still like my LSU Ohio State prediction. And it's funny because Jalen Hurts of Oklahoma is in the playoff again, but this time with a different team. And his former team, Alabama, is not in the playoff. They are relegated back to a smaller tier bowl game, which is hilarious to me. But another funny thing is the Buckeyes' last playoff game was in 2016 versus Clemson, held them scoreless, if that stat is still correct, which, holy shit.
Yeah, 31-0 the last time they met in the semifinal.
Insane?
Yeah.
Is that not insane? And this time around, we're both like, nah, Clemson has no shot. But obviously these are not the same teams, so I think the playoff games alone are worth watching bowl season this year. But like you said, Oregon versus Wisconsin looks awesome. I love Oklahoma State, Texas A&M. And there's a good handful of other ones on here. I'm really actually looking forward to watching.
So of course we'll have to come back and see how we fared on these picks.
Indeed.
And make sure I rub in how poorly you did.
I'm not too worried. I like my picks this year. I usually don't feel that good about them.
I never feel good.
Well, I feel good until about the 21st, which is the second day, and I'm like, oh well, shit. I've
You
got
shit the bed right away.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
usually how it goes.
Awesome.
All right.
Good stuff, man.
So now we just got to wait for the 20th. Buffalo, go Buffalo.
Yeah. Buffalo.
All right.
All right. Well, until next time, man. That was fun.
Indeed.
And
Sounds good.
Yeah, like, share, subscribe as always. Disagree, agree. Put in the comment box. What are your picks? Who's gonna win the national championship this year? Does Oklahoma have a shot? Are we wrong about Clemson? Or is it just gonna be Ohio State or LSU like most people are thinking? Let us know. All right. That's all I got. Love you. Bye.
All right.